Am I the butthole for telling my mother-in-law my baby's cancer is not about her? I have not told my husband's family, and that is because we really do not speak. My husband knows, but even with him, we are unable to talk on a regular basis due to me being at the hospital and the time difference where my husband is and my emotional state. He understands this. He's supposed to be home in a few weeks, but a date is uncertain. Mill called me today and asked why I haven't called her to tell her about my daughter's diagnosis and why I haven't been updating her daily since I've been here. To which I said I have been emotionally and physically drained. That I could try my best to give her weekly phone call updates, but that daily updates via call and or text is not possible for me. We also don't have social media, but I probably wouldn't post updates there either. She then stated again that she wanted daily updates, no mention about if I needed anything or how I was doing. I proceeded to say, the best I can do is trying to give you a call with a daily update. I then told her I needed to get back to my baby's room as I had already stepped out for longer than I would have liked. She started crying and said, "You have no idea how I feel. I'm hurting the most than anyone else possibly could." Excuse me? I replied with, "My baby's cancer is not about you. I need to go." She hung up. That was that. Am I the butthole for telling her my baby's cancer is not about her? I feel like this is going to be no contact territory at this point. Update: thank you for all of the kind responses. I decided to delegate my mother as the person who would update all family, including my husband's. When things get a little more situated, I will probably have my close friend make a Caring Bridge account for me and my mother can share that with everyone. For those who asked, LO means little one. Also, I think some people forget that my mother is my mother and we are close. No, I'm not giving her updates daily. Most of the time when she drops off something for me at the hospital, she asks me if I'm okay and offers a lot of hugs and rubs my back, and I cry while she holds me. She's yet to ask anything from me. Therein lies the difference. The relationship I have with my mother-in-law has been strained for some time now. She often believes that I am the one responsible to initiate communication and to foster the relationship between her and myself and her and my daughter. The effort she has put in over the past year and a half has been minimal, to say the least. But yet still feels entitled and expects me to visit her home often, call her, update her, text her, etc. For the past month I have been in and out of the ER and doctor's visits trying to get to the bottom of my baby's back pain, and she's known about these visits, my husband tells her. Not once has she reached out and asked how we were. How I was. So to those who expect me to treat her equally as my mother is just really asking too much. I haven't been treated with kindness, respect, or empathy ever since I gave birth. She could have easily made an effort to any degree to love me, and she has made it very clear to me over the year that she doesn't care for me to any capacity. Not as her son's wife and not as her granddaughter's mother, let alone as her own daughter. Whether she likes it or not, my baby is related to me and I am her mother, and that will never change. She doesn't have to like me, but there does need to be respect, and there hasn't been. So that's currently where we were before my daughter's diagnosis. I am not closed off to reconciliation and healing, but that will also require ownership of the things that have happened and have been said, and respect for me as a person and as a parent moving forward, all things my therapist has suggested and encourages. Edit to add, my brother, who is also in the military, sent me 2 meals this weekend via DoorDash. I didn't ask him to, and he didn't even ask me if I needed meals. He just did it. I didn't update him either. Mill has yet to ask if I need anything, if my low is okay, how we are doing, etc. Not the butthole, and I'm so sorry you're going through this. I'm hurting the most than anyone else possibly could. Seriously, WTF? Hurting more than your LO or yourself? Toxic narcissism doesn't even begin to describe your Mill. Best wishes for your little one's recovery. Original poster replies. That's exactly what I wanted to say. How could anyone be feeling how my baby is feeling or how I'm feeling? I understand that it's hard and it's depressing. My mom is super sad and feeling terrible. But she still shows up for me. Every day. Calls to check in. Doesn't get butthurt if I don't answer. She's been super supportive, and maybe that's because I'm her daughter and she knows what it would feel like if I had cancer and she was in my shoes? I don't know. Honestly, the only person capable of feeling anything close to the suffering of mama and baby is dad, who can't even be there as a support and has to be away during this time. To imagine she hurts more than her son who can't be there is bonkers. Best wishes for you and yours, and go no contact, you need to focus on you. There's a thing called the rings of something, influence or need or something where you ask for support outwards of the crisis, but she is expecting support from the people most affected, which is so wrong. Original poster replies, yes. This was my thought. Like really? My husband hasn't been the most hands-on father since Ella was born, but he is her father. I don't know how my mother-in-law somehow thinks her pain and sadness trumps that of her own son. I really can't wrap my mind around that. Yes, I've been reading about the rings of grief. Really, really good. Your mother-in-law wants daily updates so she can go around telling all and sundry how distressed she is because her granddaughter is sick. It's all about her being the center of attention, and she wants to use your daughter's cancer to get as much of it as possible. She doesn't care about you, her son, or the actual baby who is in hospital. Don't give her any updates. Tell her to contact her son if she wants them. You don't need this emotional vampire distressing you further at an already stressful time. If she keeps calling, simply block her number. Emotional vampire describes mother-in-law well and to op. I hope Elo gets better soon. Heart, heart. I fear you are onto something here. I was thinking the same thing, to be honest. She's doing it for clout, and for the absolute worst of reasons. She's not even asking original poster how she's keeping her head above water or if she needs help with anything at home, for Christ's sakes. The fact that mother-in-law is demanding daily updates instead of, well, being a decent and supportive human being makes me incredibly stabby. It is good you're placing your boundary against this. Be firm on it, even though it must be crazy hard with everything going on right now. Best wishes to you and your little one. My family are constant emotional boundary stompers. It is the only bad thing about the otherwise nice and caring people. They have no concept of the rings of grief, etc. When my dad left for another woman, Grandma did exactly this. I am hurting the most. How could he have done this to me? Me and my mom, the abandoned kid and betrayed wife, had to literally care for her and console her for months. It nearly killed my mom. Wow, just wow in every way. You are so strong for still standing and not freaking out at your mother-in-law with all the stress and trauma you are currently going through. You could have cussed her out like a drunken sailor and still not be the butthole. Let me say this, your mother-in-law doesn't matter, like not at all. Her feelings and everything about her doesn't matter. You and your baby are what is most important now. Go no contact for your own sake. When your husband comes back, let him deal with the mother-in-law, but do not waste energy or thoughts on her. People like her will come back as soon as they see a chance. When your Elo is well, she will appear and pretend that she has been your best supporter all the time, so even if she is butthurt now, she will conveniently forget about it to come back as your savior. I wish you the best and lots of strength on your long way. This woman is delusional. I can see why you don't really speak to her. Do what you need to do to help you get through this time. If talking to her does not help you, then don't. She can get her updates from her son, not the butthole. Also, for what it's worth, here's a huge virtual hug for you from an internet stranger. Wishing you and your baby all the luck and strength in the world. Hope you are home with it all behind you soon. Not the butthole, not even by a long shot. Do what is best for you and your baby, everyone else be damned. I'm so sorry you have a mother-in-law like that. I'm glad you have your mom there supporting you. I can't even begin imagine what you and Elo are going through. I have a son the same age as your daughter. I wonder if the hospital has some sort of counseling. Maybe you can talk to them and they can help you with what you're going through with your daughter. Don't forget to look after yourself as well. You are a super mom, but even super moms need help when going through something like this. When your husband does get home, maybe he can talk to his mom? At this point I think it would be best to go NC or limited contact, because she will just be another source of stress and strain that you don't need. ATM. You and your family will be in my thoughts. This time is about you and your family, and getting through chemo. Stay strong and vent on here as much as you need. Heart, heart. I can't imagine how dad is feeling trapped far away when his kid's in danger and his wife is feeling like this. I know it would drive me insane. I can't even put my mind in the same time zone as that. I can't imagine the tiniest way. It's so beyond my world of experience. Everyone here, except Mill, has my greatest sympathy. I'm of the view that everyone should plaster a smile on and pretend they're fine in front of the parents. They are the ones who are the most devastated and stressed, and they don't need to take on anyone else's pain. That's a bit too far, I think. Showing you're affected too is okay. You don't want to appear like this is unimportant. But held together and supporting is best. Not the butthole, and yeah, I'd advise you to go NC, for the time being. Save your energy for where it's important, take care of your baby girl. I'm so sorry for what you're going through and hope for the best for you both. Keep that emotional leech away. Original poster replies. Thank you, praying gesture. When my mom had cancer, she quickly put my dad in charge of updating, i.e. handling, his family with the important details. They have a tendency to catastrophize and make things about themselves. She only had enough time and energy to keep in touch with the people closest to her/who were actually providing help and support. After my dad, those were us kids. Her parents, her siblings, and a few close friends. She wouldn't even pick up the phone for anyone who didn't make that list, unless she was having an exceptionally good day. Save your energy for the people who are important/helpful and of course, for your low. I hope treatment goes smoothly. Original poster replies. Aw, thank you for this. I sure hope your mama is doing better. It sounds like they had a good game plan and good for your mom for setting those boundaries and only handling what she was able to. When my mom got sick, we used a website called Caring Bridge. It's basically a blog designed for handling illness. So you can post something and anyone who wants to know what's going on can subscribe to updates. It relieves you from having to tell multiple people. If it's easier for you to talk than write, you can have a trusted friend do the updates for you. Then you only have to talk to one person. As much as people want to know what's going on or help, each person you talk to will drain some of your emotional energy, and you should reserve that for yourself and your child. I'm so sorry this has happened to your family. We used Caring Bridge for my sister. It was a wonderful way to easily get the news out. I only had to text/call one person with new news and he would post it. When my sister was able to hear us, we would read the comforting and loving comments to her. I think that was a huge boon to her recovery. After 16 months of being in and out of the heart hospital, I was her primary caregiver. It was very sweet and touching to read comments from her friends. Each had different stories to share about her life. At that point, these people felt like very close friends and became a wonderful support system for me, while I was going through her belongings, office stuff, etc. It truly was a bridge of caring, in each direction. Could you put your mom in charge of handling updating relevant parties who you want to be updated? That way you have one less thing on your plate. I agree with this. She said something heartless and unthinking. But not knowing is also horrible and she is probably constantly on edge wondering how things are going. If your mom would be okay with being in touch with her, I am sure that would massively help things. She is, thanks. The treatments were rough, but no signs of cancer for over 6 years now. I reckon you could put your husband in charge of the daily updates to mother-in-law if she deserves anything at all. My cousin's daughter was born with a heart defect, and needed multiple surgeries to repair it. The hospital told them about a non-profit that runs a service where families can set up a private website where they can post updates on their loved one's status. It is password protected, and families can share access with friends and family. They sent the website and password info to all of us, and my cousin and his wife took turns updating the webpage with their daughter's status. This saved them having to tell people the same details over and over again, and allowed all of us to keep up to date without calling and texting them. It's been about a decade, but as I recall, we could post comments, too, giving them love and encouragement. I googled it, and it's still in existence. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to give its name here, but PM me if you're interested. It worked really well for my cousin's family, and his daughter is now a healthy preteen who is obsessed with horses and makeup. That's so useful. I thankfully don't need it now, but I'd love the name of the site to check it out. It's called Caring Bridge. Caring Bridge was hugely helpful during my cousin's recent cancer and treatment. They refer to it as journal entries, so he or his wife would post an update when they wanted to share something. Email goes out to everyone signed up that there is a new entry. Have you looked into a Red Cross message? It might bring him home sooner. I don't know enough details about your situation to be sure though. Not the butthole. You most certainly not owe your mother-in-law a daily update. We don't care what she wants or expects. Right now, you take care of you and you take care of your darling daughter. I hope everything goes well. Hang in there. Not the butthole, go no contact. You need support, not toxicity. Stay strong and take care of yourself or your little one. Agreed. There is literally no reason to keep in contact with such a self-centered person, who there wasn't much contact to begin with. Not the butthole, without a doubt. Not the butthole. He's supposed to be home in a few weeks, but a date is uncertain. If you are in the US, get the Red Cross involved. They'll make sure he comes home as soon as possible and get a concrete date for his return. You can also get advice and support on how to deal with your mother-in-law by posting over on our /justnormal web link, Reddit link. Original poster replies. Thank you. The Red Cross should be getting back to me by Monday with a date. Thankfully. He's in a remote part of the Middle East currently. You're welcome. Hopefully he'll be home sooner than he was supposed to be. Han, do you have any support from the unit FRG? Original poster replies. Yes. I think they go by SFRG for us, but that's who reached out to before the Red Cross. I'm not quite sure why they can't send him home on a plane tomorrow and why it will take a few weeks. Maybe because it's an illness and not a death? Maybe I should have asked. I forgot to ask. I just took their answer and ran. But I have a little notepad that I've been writing notes on because I feel my brain is very foggy and very focused, as in focused on how to be the best mama and support I can be, so I find taking notes helpful. Like I forgot, a bill was due yesterday and luckily, I made a sticky note. At home, I have a fridge calendar/list and that's how I remember, but without it, I am lost. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.